I am so happy with how this looks for the Rangers. We have a pitcher, Jack Leiter, and he is a dude.
And while I do think his hitting is worse than Derek Jeter, it's not that far off.
You're not mentioning 2006. You can mention the other people, not 2006.
Oh, just because I bought the best soap doesn't mean your room's going to be clean. It just leaves it to where I don't believe that the Canadians had a shot.
I really don't like the Clippers just kind of sending it in when they're like,
Hi, this is Kelly Forbes with the Dallas Stars, and you're listening to Outsiders Opinions with Kevin and Austin.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to our NBA Opinions of the Week. We interrupt our regularly scheduled top 10s. Make sure to check those out for some actual news. The man that I texted going like, did this really happen? Austin.
I had the same reaction. I was wondering, I was doing homework at my desk, right? And my phone, which wasn't next to me, it was by my bed charging, just kept buzzing and buzzing and buzzing and buzzing and buzzing. And I'm like, I'm not that popular. I don't know why my phone is buzzing so much. And I walk over there and I have like 20 Twitter notifications and like 40 either Snapchat or text messages about the Dame news. And wow, this changes things.
Absolutely. And yeah, I had turned off my phone. I was busy and I still had do not disturb on my watch. So I'm like scrolling through notifications and it was like Dame traded $2. I was like, what? There's no way. This has to be a rumor because there was rumors and I'm like, I don't buy that. He's going to the Heat. But man, this changes things. And to me, I don't like this trade for the Suns or the Bucks. I love it for the Blazers.
I like it for the Bucks because you want to keep Giannis in Milwaukee. You have to look at this as bigger than just the deal. Obviously, your defensive abilities with losing Drew Holiday take a hit, but this shows Giannis stay. This is telling him. This is showing him that you're willing to make moves to get better, and I'm extremely interested. With the Suns, people think that Yusuf Nurkic is better than Ayton for the playoffs. Maybe, maybe not. He's one of the heaviest players in the league. He's been injury prone in the past. I can see what they get out of it. The Grayson Allen addition, I do think, is very beneficial. He could be a good defensive and hyperactive guard for the Suns, especially because their depth has been shot ever since trading for Beal. But I do think that there is still some holes in the Suns team come playoff time because of their injury proneness around KD or Beal, who's been hurt recently, or other guys like Nurkic, like I said.
Yeah, the Suns, I understand the move. I think they just wanted to get rid of Aiden, and Aiden didn't want to be there. And yeah, well, I'm not a huge fan of Nurkic. I would still have Aiden over him. I think it was more of a depth move. To me, the Bucks, Drew Holiday, to me, is a huge loss. That's why I love it for the Blazers. But yeah, with the Bucks, if they could have kept Drew and gotten rid of Chris Middleton, I know that's tough, but I just what does Chris Middleton bring to the table that Dame doesn't bring to the table?
What do you mean?
So what with the Drew Holiday, Giannis, and Middleton trio, to me, they each had distinct qualities that complemented each other. How does the Giannis, Dame, and Middleton combo, or maybe they trade Middleton, I don't know. But as of right now, how does that trio work? How do they complement each other?
It's really just the fact that Dame can spread the floor so well that it will open up the center. When you have Brook Lopez, who is such a good shooter, you have Chris Middleton, who is such a good shooter, Connaughton can shoot, and then obviously you have Dame, who could stand at the 30-foot mark at the hash and just still be open where you can pass it to him and score from there. It really does open up the paint for Giannis. I think their offense will completely revolutionize itself from last year where Drew's going to pass more. Drew's still going to score and he can hit threes, but not the clip that Dame can. Dame will spread the floor more and allow for Giannis really to impact the middle of the court where no one else is taking up that space.
Okay. Okay, I like. Okay, I hadn't thought of that. Okay, you're selling me on it. I'll have to see it. I'm intrigued. But yeah, that's a good point.
My thing is, will Dame be mad about his touches? Because he's not the best player on the team anymore.
Yeah.
Can he be second fiddle? Because I feel like on offense, if he went to the Heat, he'd still be the best offensive player.
Oh yeah.
So now that he's on the Bucks, can he put his ego aside? Because he didn't want to go to the Bucks. He only wanted to go to the Heat. And now, like I said, he's the second best player on the team. He is not the alpha anymore. Will that hurt his ego, or will he be a good team player? And because if he is, I think the Bucks are the clear favorite in the East. Because
Okay.
I don't know necessarily how you can outscore this team. The defense is still there. Brook Lopez, Defensive Player of the Year candidate. Giannis, still a really good defender. Defense against great guards. Against the Mavs, I think you could struggle against Luka or Kyrie because they're so perimeter centric. Against the Thunder, you could struggle against Shea. Against the Timberwolves, you could struggle against Anthony Edwards. And I do think this would be a tougher matchup against the Suns because of Booker and Beal. But against those teams where they're primary big centric, like the Nuggets, like the 76ers, I do think this team still can play well defensively. Between the Nuggets and the Bucks, it really would come down to Jamal Murray versus Dame, which I do think is a much closer matchup than people think.
Ooh, I would love that. That'd be great. Yeah, thinking about the East, I have questions about Celtics. I have questions about the Heat. So yeah, they would. Yeah, why not?
And with the Celtics, KP could be guarded by Giannis, and then the paint's just guarded by uh, Brook Lopez, and then Middleton's still a good defender. You could put Tatum on him, and Connaughton's not a bad defender, so he could be put on Jaylen Brown and just force him to go left. But
That's a good point. I have a question for you. Which the benefit of this trade to me, I think this takes less pressure. This takes pressure off of Middleton being healthy
yes,
as a scorer.
yes, this was something I was going to get to, and it wasn't necessarily pressure to keep him from getting hurt, but pressure on offense. I feel Middleton, who's always been a solid defender, will take a leap in defense and a step back in offense. I think he will be primarily a set shooter. Sometimes he'll have one or two plays drawn up for him, but he will be mainly just a shooter. And then on defense, he will take that next step. So if you're playing the Bucks, right, Chris Middleton will have to be probably on Booker, where you would have Connaughton on Beal, and then Giannis on KD, and then try to hide Dame. On defense, you need to find a way to hide Dame, and if you have that ability to hide Dame, I think that you could beat a lot of teams. The problem is again, the Nuggets are just such a good team. They're so well rounded. And then when you go to the Suns, which we do need to mention because they're a part of this trade, Nurkic may be better defensively than Ayton. Ayton's really struggled defensively, and that's kind of why he was taken completely out of that Nuggets series because, I mean, Jokic was averaging 35, 13, and 10. You're not going to win a series if Jokic is doing that. So they put in Jock Landale, and then so now they're trusting that Nurkic can be a better defender. We'll have to see. I don't completely buy that he will be. And you don't really need Nurkic to be an offensive presence, which is why I think they got rid of Ayton. Is that Ayton has, I think, more offensive need, while Nurkic can just focus on defense. And that's where we're kind of seeing roles switching between Chris Middleton going to defense mainly and Nurkic having also to worry about mainly just being a defensive centerpiece against those teams that like the Sixers or like the Nuggets or like the Bucks, to where you can just try to do your best in the paint while you have guys around the perimeter.
Yeah, and I feel with like you talked about Londale coming in for Aiden, that's easier to do now with Nurkic as your center compared to Aiden, who's the number one overall pick, and all the things you said. There's less of an ego or a less of a pressure on how is Aiden going to react. I think the Suns thing was just it had run its course. It didn't work out well, which I think is there anything more you want to talk about the Suns? Because I really want to talk about the Blazers, who I love this for them.
Yeah, let's go to the Blazers. What are your thoughts?
So with Aiden, I think this is probably I'm not a huge fan of him, but this is probably his lowest trade value. So to get him back, and I know they didn't get a lot of picks in the Dame. They got just a first round. They got the 2029 first round Bucks pick and then a Bucks pick swap. But to get Drew Holiday, who you could keep him, but I feel they flip him. But to me, Aiton's a young player who can re-hinge. Maybe he proves why he wouldn't never been the number one pick now because of Luca, but just a great player. I think he has the chance to be great, and he's shown flashes. It's just how does he handle? To me, as much of an ego. But with the Blazers, I understand because that's what you're doing right now. Why not take a chance on Ayton when the value to me is so low?
Yeah, and the fact that they're going to be able to probably trade Drew Holiday and then allow Scoot and Shaden Sharp really to take over this offense with Anthony Simons as well, and like you mentioned, Ayton. Uh, People forget they still have Jeremy Grant, so they're. I don't think they're going to be as bad as some people are assuming, and I do think that trades when they happen will help this team get even better for the future. I think the Trailblazers really have come out of this for the best.
Yeah, I agree. It's so much better. That's just a great way to turn things around. They really, I was like, man, he's got to go to the Heat. And the Heat were kind of like, nah, we'll do whatever. And the Heat didn't get him. So to me now, Heat, what do you do? Because I don't think I sent you that video of, was that actually true of like Jimmy talking
He's
about tampering?
joking.
Oh,
He's
okay, gotcha,
joking,
gotcha.
but
Okay.
it's real. But he's just trolling. He's just joking.
Okay, cool. Okay, gotcha. All right, respect there. But for the Heat, what do you do? And I think they should be a leader for getting Drew Holiday.
Wow, I didn't think about that, but that would be huge. They have to make a move. They have to, and the problem is they've allowed too many people to leave, and you do wonder how this team progresses going forward. The East is getting better and better and better, and the Heat are not improving. They are not adding to their successes, and so I think that they do have a long way to go before I consider them even close to a finals contender. Because there is so many different people who are coming into their own this upcoming season.
Yeah, I agree. But man, dude, if Drew Holiday somehow got in the Heat, I think I would love that. And I think that would just be great. And if they were able to keep Adebayo, Drew, and Jimmy, I think that would be such an I want to say underrated trio. I'm sure you understand what I mean by that, right?
Yeah,
It'd just be such a solid trio. I would love to see that happen. But also, maybe the Blazers try to keep Drew, but I'm very. And then here's my question to you: Can Drew once they? I don't think they've submitted the trade yet, so they can work a team in, right, to send Drew somewhere
yes.
else. Okay, but if that trade gets submitted, it's not till the trade deadline, correct? That he get traded.
Trade deadline. Oh, it's 60 days from
Oh,
when
60
the
days. Oh, okay. Okay. Gotcha.
yeah.
Okay. So that was my. I was wondering. So they're probably trying to rework the trade.
Yes, to send Drew
Um,
somewhere where
gotcha.
the Trailblazers get something from it. But if the
Okay.
trade goes through, it's 60 days until you can trade them.
Okay. Cool. But yeah, so to me, if I were to rank this, like, who I love this for, I'd go Blazers, Bucks, Suns.
I don't think ranking it is because they're all doing it for different reasons. It's kind of hard for me to rank it.
Okay.
They all, I do think they all get something positive out of it. I would say if there had to be a winner, I don't necessarily see a loser out of any of these. If I had to say who is a winner, I would say the Trailblazers, but they all get something out of it. Again, the Bucks. It's more than just what's on paper. It's the fact that the Bucks get to stay with Giannis most likely. Like this proves that Giannis is going to sign the extension and that he believes in where the Bucks are headed. With the Suns, they get rid of the Aiton controversy while still adding another center and adding some depth pieces with Grayson Allen. And then the Trailblazers are building for the future. So I like this trade for all teams. But if I had to say one team as the biggest winner, I do think the Trailblazers have gotten the most out of it.
Yeah, these teams each went in different directions. I'm not sure I would want to take those directions specifically with the Bucks, but yeah, I see what you're saying. They all came out with something, and we will just have to see what it is. But for some, I just love what the Blazers did. I think this is fantastic for them, and I'm very skeptical of the other reasons, other teams. But that's probably because of the expectations for the Bucks and Suns.
Oh,
compared
this
to the
is
Blazers.
career defining for both Giannis and Dame. More for Dame.
Yeah.
But this is like if this doesn't work, Dame's career will have a massive blemish on it. Especially because he's still in his prime. He demanded a trade. So this is a huge year because again, you look at Beal, you look at some of the or Booker even guys that haven't won a championship yet. KP, Jason Tatum, Jalen Brown. Like this is a huge year for a lot. Joel Embiid. This is a huge year. Luka, Kyrie.
Yeah, Luka, Kyrie.
This is a huge year for a lot of people, and there's only one championship. So I'm really excited for this season. My season predictions have now been shifted wildly.
Oh yeah, dude, I agree. Yeah, I'm so it's gonna be so weird seeing Dame in a Bucks jersey.
I've seen a lot of people comparing it to Shaq and Kobe, a modern day Shaq and Kobe.
Ooh, wow. That's an interesting comparison. I like to see how it plays out. I'm very intrigued because I feel Dame's kind of shifted down, like he hasn't been talked about as much just because of where the Blazers were at. We'll see what happens with the Bucks. But yeah, any final thoughts, Austin?
Usually you say that and I don't, but I actually have one.
Yeah.
Who takes the final shot?
Ooh.
Who is the guy who's getting the play run? You're down by 2 points. Who's getting the play?
Down by 2.
Is it Dame time? Or is it one of the best players we've ever seen time?
If you're down by 2, and for the point you brought up,
There's 10 seconds left. Yeah. 10 seconds left. You need it.
Ooh, that's tough. If it's 2, I like your point about the paint. That's really selling me on this trade. Now, I'd probably go Giannis.
Kano play for Giannis.
Yeah. I call play for Giannis.
And how does Dame feel about that? Because he's always had the play call for him. We've seen him. He's proven it against Paul George, against the Rockets. Both of those were playoff moments where he said series winners. But obviously, he's not on the level that Giannis is. Who gets the final play? Hopefully. I mean, there's a lot of questions. We need to see who gets the final play call in big moments for the Suns. Who gets the final play call on big moments for the Mavs? There's a lot of teams where who gets that play call will be huge because again, I mean, you look at the Mavs. Obviously, you think it should be Luka, but Kyrie's hit one of the clutchest shots we've ever seen in basketball history with the Cavs against the Warriors.
Yeah. Who do you go with? Who do you go with? Final shot. Dame.
Who am I calling the play for?
Yeah.
I'm calling the play for Giannis. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that Giannis takes the last shot because obviously you don't call the play for it to be you have to go with this because if it's stopped, the game's over. But if you're talking about a QB dropping back progressions, your first look is to Giannis. If Giannis is open type thing, it's Giannis.
Yeah.
So the play is drawn for Giannis.
Yeah. The thing they can't do is what Kyrie and Luka did against the Kings, where they just kept passing it back to each other. No, make a decision. But yeah, those are all very good questions. Really like that final thought, and I think we'll close it out. That's all we got. Thank you for listening. Let us know your final thoughts or opening thoughts. We appreciate you listening to Outsiders Opinions.